Have you ever felt like your normal, everyday life was just a little bit strange? Like if you pulled on one tiny, loose thread, the whole world you know might unravel? What if looking for your lost cat led you down a rabbit hole of forgotten history, bizarre characters, and a reality much weirder than you could ever imagine? Today, we're diving into a book that does exactly that. This is Haruki Murakami's masterpiece, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle. This isn't just a story. It's a journey into a labyrinth of memory, mystery, and what it means to find yourself when everything, including your wife and your cat, is lost. It's a book that digs into the hidden secrets of Japan's past and our own minds. So, grab a cup of coffee, maybe boil some spaghetti, and let's find out why this mesmerizing epic matters. First, let's talk about the master chef of strange stories, Haruki Murakami. If you've read any of his work, you know his style is one of a kind. He takes ordinary life and injects it with a huge dose of the surreal and fantastical. His books, like Kafka on the Shore or Hard-Boiled Wonderland and The End of the World, are famous for their talking cats, alternate universes, and characters who are searching for something they can't quite name. Murakami is an international literary superstar, celebrated for creating stories that are both deeply strange and profoundly human. He doesn't just want to tell you a story, he wants to create a feeling, a deep sense of unease that makes you question everything. The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is often called his most ambitious work, a sprawling epic that ties together a personal journey with the weight of an entire country's history. This book is filled with some of the strangest and most memorable characters you'll ever meet. First, our hero, Toru Okada. He's just a regular guy who recently quit his boring job at a law firm. He's spending his days as a house husband, cooking pasta, and looking for his lost cat. He's our anchor in a world that's about to get very, very weird. Then there's his wife, Kumiko Okada. She's an editor who seems to be growing more and more distant. It's her insistence on finding the cat that kicks off this whole crazy adventure. Next up is the villain of our story, Noboru Wataya. He's Kumiko's older brother, a famous and charming TV personality who everyone seems to love. But underneath, he's a hollow, manipulative man whom Toru absolutely hates. He represents a kind of empty, corrupting force in the world. In a strange alley, Toru meets Kasahara, a teenage girl who has dropped out of school. She's sharp, funny, and obsessed with death and wigs. She becomes Toru's unlikely friend and observer on his strange journey. And then we have the Kano sisters, Maltha and Kreta. They are psychics for hire. Maltha is super formal and wears a bright red vinyl hat, while her sister Kreta seems trapped in the 1960s and holds a dark secret involving Noboru Wataya. Finally, we hear stories from Mr. Honda and Lieutenant Mamiya to old soldiers whose haunting tales of Japan's secret war in Manchuria in the 1930s echo through the entire book, connecting the past to Toru's present problems. The story is mostly set in a quiet neighborhood in Tokyo in 1984. But this isn't just about one place. The book constantly shifts between the real world and a surreal, dreamlike space that seems to exist just beneath the surface. A world Toru accesses through a deep, dry well in an abandoned yard. The core concept is this: a simple search for a missing cat spirals into a massive quest. Toru isn't just looking for his pet anymore. He's looking for his wife, for the truth about his country's hidden past, and ultimately for his own true self. The story is a sprawling mystery where every new character and every bizarre event is a clue leading him deeper into the labyrinth of his own life. The story unfolds in three main parts. Act 1, the setup. It all starts with Toru Okada at home, cooking spaghetti when the phone rings. It's a strange woman asking for 10 minutes to understand each other. Soon after, his cat, Noboru Wataya, disappears. His wife, Kumiko, becomes obsessed with finding him, pushing Toru to search in a creepy, dead-end alley nearby. There, he meets the quirky teenager Kasahara and discovers the abandoned, hanging house with a dry well in the backyard. The search gets weirder when Kumiko hires the psychic Maltha Kano, who warns Toru that this is just the beginning of his troubles. Act 2. The conflict and exploration. And boy, was she right. Toru's life falls apart. His marriage strains, marked by a bizarre fight over blue tissues. Then, Kumiko disappears completely. Toru is left alone, haunted by her memory and the mysteries piling up around him. He feels compelled to go down into the dry well, and this is where things get truly strange. The well is a portal. Down in the darkness, he enters a bizarre dream world, where he finds himself in a shadowy hotel room 208, having strange encounters with Kreta Kano and the mystery phone woman. These dream journeys are mixed with stories from Lieutenant Mamiya about the horrors of a forgotten war, making Toru realize his own problems are connected to a violent history he never knew. He is warned by a shadowy man named Ushikawa to stay away from the hanging house, but Toru knows he has to go deeper to find Kumiko. Act 3. The resolution. Toru takes on a new role. He begins working for the new owners of the property, Nutmeg and Cinnamon Akashka, using the well as a place of healing for women tormented by an inner darkness. He realizes his destiny is to fight Noboru Wataya, not in the real world, but in that other, darker reality. In a final, violent confrontation in room 208, he attacks a being that is the embodiment of Noboru Wataya's evil with a baseball bat. At that exact moment in the real world, the real Noboru Wataya suffers a massive stroke and falls into a coma. Freed from his power, Kumiko finally acts. She goes to the hospital and kills her brother, ending his reign of evil for good. The book ends with Kumiko in jail, accepting her punishment, and Toru, forever changed, waiting for her, finally understanding his place in the world. The wind-up bird Chronicle is packed with powerful symbols. The most important is the well. It's not just a hole in the ground, it's a doorway to the subconscious mind, a place where the past and present meet, and where Toru must go to find himself. Then there's the wind-up bird itself. Toru and Kumiko hear its strange, mechanical cry every morning, like it's winding up the spring of the world. The bird is never seen, but its call represents the hidden forces, fate, history, destiny that control our lives without us ever knowing. And of course, all the missing things, the cat, the wife, even a polka dot tie Toru can't find. The search for these things is really a search for meaning. When you lose the simple things that define your life, you're forced to figure out who you are without them. Finally, the book is about history and memory. The stories of the war in Manchuria are not just random tales. They show that the violent, forgotten past of a country can bubble up and poison the present day for ordinary people like Toru and Kumiko. Let's look at two powerful quotes that capture the heart of this book. First, from the old fortune teller, Mr. Honda. When you're supposed to go up, find the highest tower and climb to the top. When you're supposed to go down, find the deepest well and go down to the bottom. When there's no flow, stay still. If you resist the flow, everything dries up. This quote is like a guide for the whole story. Toru's journey is about learning to stop resisting the strange flow of his life. Instead of running from the darkness and confusion, he has to embrace it, go down into the deepest well to find the truth. Second, from Kreta Kano, explaining the conflict with Noboru Wataya. In a world where you are losing everything, Mr. Okada, Noboru Wataya is gaining everything. In a world where you are rejected, he is accepted. And the opposite is just as true, which is why he hates you so intensely. This shows that the fight between Toru and Noboru isn't just a family squabble. It's a cosmic battle between two opposite forces. Toru represents depth, feeling, and a connection to the messy past. Noboru represents a shallow, empty, and powerful present that tries to erase history. For one to win, the other must lose. So what can we take away from this huge, strange book? For me, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is a powerful reminder that our ordinary lives are never as simple as they seem. We all have a well inside us, a place full of memories, secrets, and forgotten parts of ourselves. The book teaches us that sometimes the only way to move forward is to go down into that darkness and confront what we find there. It's about the courage to face the unknown. Toru Okada isn't a superhero. He's just a normal guy who refuses to give up even when the world stops making sense. He teaches us that even when you feel lost and powerless, you can find strength by facing your own history and the history of the world you live in. It tells us that sometimes you have to lose everything to find out what truly matters. Now, is this book for everyone? The sources I have are filled with acclaim, describing the novel as mesmerizing and profoundly rewarding. However, I should note that information from outside the sources suggests some readers might find certain aspects challenging. For example, the book is very long and meandering. The story doesn't follow a straight line, and some mysteries are left unsolved, which can be frustrating if you like neat endings. Also, its deep dive into surrealism might not appeal to readers who prefer more straightforward, realistic stories. But if you're ready for a journey that will stick with you long after you've finished, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is an unforgettable experience. So, I have a question for you. What do you think the mysterious, unseen wind-up bird symbolize? Is it fate? Is it time? Or something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next literary adventure. Thanks for watching.